So there's a saying that dogs are very similar to their owners. They have very similar traits. And I don't know if that's true because which owner are they like? The mother, the father, your siblings, yourself? If it is true, I hope my dog is like me. Let me tell you why. My dog is very small, very sassy, and some people think I am too. But that's not why I hope he's like me. I hope he's like me because he pushes himself out of his comfort zone repeatedly. So every time we're trying to leave the house, my dog will be the first one at the door trying to shove his nose outside to escape. But unfortunately, he can't come with us to everything we go to. So my family advised a method that we could use to keep him away from the door. And this method is we usually bring out the vacuum cleaner and plug it in and turn it on. And he's deathly afraid of the vacuum cleaner. So for the first day, he'll stop. He'll run to the end of the hallway and not even think about going outside. The second or third day, he'll move up closer to the vacuum cleaner. He'll start sniffing it and pawing it and see if it's actually something he needs to be afraid of. The fourth or fifth day, the vacuum cleaner is basically useless. He'll just run right past it. And this is an example of my dog stepping out of his comfort zone. And we've had to switch our method multiple times. So the vacuum cleaner stopped working, so we used a chair. That stopped working, so we used a laundry basket. And we're currently on, I think, like a foldable table. This has been working for about a week. Now, you all know what a comfort zone is. It's a place or a setting in which you feel most safe or at ease. But fewer people know the biological explanation of a comfort zone. It's a neurological reaction that occurs with the transmission of dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. When we do something that makes us happy or we feel pleasure out of it, this is because we get a little boost of dopamine as a reward. The same thing happens when we do something that's expected of us. So when we do things inside our comfort zone, we're biologically rewarded for this action because it's something that our brain expects us to do. On the other hand, when we do something out of our comfort zone, we're not rewarded for it. Dopamine transmission is inhibited, and this is what we interpret as unease or discomfort. It's this discomfort that stops us from moving outside of our comfort zone to take risks. Personally, I think that this neural pathway is hugely overused given our current state of biological evolution. It's really useful when we're in a fight or flight situation where we have some kind of dangerous risk that we need to step back from. But the way it is right now, our brain tricks us into thinking that something such as public speaking is dangerous or risky and something that we shouldn't step into to try. I want to show you an example of comfort zone, risk zone, and danger zone. So if you could all take out your hands, just put what you're doing down, got your hands, and clasp them together as if you're holding something in your hands. And this is your comfort zone, or this is what we're gonna pretend is your comfort zone for right now. Now, notice which pinky is on the bottom. If it's the right one, switch it so your left pinky is on the bottom, so switch the orientation of your hands pretty much. Now, one finger, so the one on top, feels like it's abandoned almost, like it's gonna fall off or something's gonna happen to it. It feels pretty weird. And this is what I would call the danger zone. This is where you should probably step back and reevaluate what's happening. Now start over. So take your hands out and put them back together. But this time just notice which thumb is on top. If it's the left thumb, like it is for me, switch it so your right thumb is on top. And this is your risk zone. This is, I think, where we should all be. Now going back to my dog example, the comfort zone is when he finally pushes past the vacuum cleaner and escapes to go outside. The risk zone would be when he's sort of eyeing the vacuum cleaner, or like sniffing it to see if it's actually gonna turn on and suck his face in. And the danger zone is when he runs to the other end of the hallway and doesn't even try to come out. And so for us, with the hand example, the risk zone would be switching your thumbs, and the danger zone would be switching the orientation of your hands. But now you're all hyper aware of your hands and your comfort zones and risk zones. But I think this is beneficial to us. This helps us teach ourselves to come out of the comfort zone, because we can only realize that we need to come out of something when we know what it is, right? So I want you to ask yourself, where would you be if you didn't do anything that made you nervous? I most probably would not be up here speaking with you. So where would you be? Ask yourself. Would you be my dog on day 1, running to the other end of the hallway? Or would you be my dog on day 5, running past the vacuum cleaner and outside?